What is iron neck? Hold on. Iron neck. This guy, did his neck get bigger? Is that the before or after? Getting started with your iron neck 3.0. Oh.
When you open the box, carefully peel off the insert and reference the backside for additional setup instructions and video links. Now, let's take out our Iron Neck 3.0 or 3.0 Pro. This is the skull cap. With many head shapes and sizes, some find it helpful with fit and comfort. After this video, don't forget to scan the QR code to access all of our great training and programming. These are the
Notice how every single product you buy now has like a QR code to download an app to like register for an email mailing list. It's like, bro, I want a can opener, okay? I don't need to register this with Jesus.
3 interchangeable front pads.
Okay.
Depending on lift smaller pad to adjustment strap to forward and press your forehead into the front pad just above your eyebrows. Then pull the iron neck down. The iron neck should be parallel to the floor when looking straight ahead. If it's slightly tilted upwards, tuck your
neck training is actually a thing. I refuse to believe that unless you're like in some kind of sporting event that specifically calls for something like this. Like maybe like boxers or maybe football players or somebody, but for like an ordinary person to do neck, like, I don't know. I don't believe this. Oh, F1 drivers? Oh, maybe, sure.
Your chin to level it out. For a more secure fit, press the Air Fit bulb to inflate the rear pad with your right hand.
They just need like a thing to attach your Apple Vision to it, and then you could be neck training in another world.
To release air, press the air release button. The iron neck should be snug enough so that it's not slipping or tilting.
Okay.
But it also shouldn't be gripping too hard to the point of discomfort.
This guy looks like a UFO.
Iron neck.
Maybe too many people in New Jersey were ordering these.
Has been fitted, tighten the head strap. If it feels too loose, try a different front pad and go through the same process. Once securely fit, clip in the chin strap, but don't over tighten. Depending on where in your house, at the gym, or outdoors you'll be using iron neck, let's select the best anchor option. To set up the door anchor, put the D-ring through the back hinge side of the door, then close the door securely and pull the anchor taut at forehead height. For the door belt, wrap it around the door, making sure...
Evil Dr. Mike also says neck training can cause sleep apnea. How big would you have to make your muscles for that to actually be a thing?
All 3 rings are visible, then clip it in and tighten it by pulling on each strap. With the cinch anchor...
Bro, I feel like if your parents walked in and saw you using this, they would fucking... they would try to Brainiac you. Like, bro, are you okay? What's going on here, man? You look like you're trying to fucking kill yourself.
By pulling on each strap. With the cinch anchor, just wrap it around a vertical post, like on a squat rack. Weave the D-ring through the anchor loop and pull tightly. Make sure the anchor is set up at forehead height. From here, clip one end of the resistance band to the anchor.
Bigger neck correlates with sleep apnea. It's pretty simple. It doesn't matter if it's muscle or fat. Yeah, sure, but I mean, gaining a fuck ton of fat is a lot easier than building a fuck ton of muscle, right? What are the muscles in your neck even called? What muscles are you even building? Is it your... Is it your... Do your traps go like all the way up to your fucking head? Or is there some other muscle back here? I have no clue.
And the other end to the iron neck. To adjust the amount of resistance from the band, simply move towards or away from the anchor point. With the included 25-pound resistance band, the most resistance at full extension would be 25 pounds. Depending on where you're at on your
sternomastoids
rehab or training journey, if you find the 25-pound band to be providing too much or too little resistance, we offer 5 different levels of
Baker Act, not Brady Act. I'm sorry.
Resistance bands on our website. There you go. Now that you're all set up, we recommend beginning with
Holy shit, it's got like a, you can like...
bands on our website.
Is it a ball bearing? Is that what you call it when you can do this thing inside the thing?
There you go. Now that you're all set up, we recommend beginning with phase 1 of our foundational movements.
And they have their own training programs.
Scan the QR code to check out our Iron Neck Training Lab for all our free training content, as well as our programs. QR code to check out our Iron Neck Training Lab for all our free training.
Early stage rehab. Damn, these guys are getting injured from their neck training devices. That's 4-phase program designed to reduce pain in and around the neck caused by injuries, accidents, and other medical conditions. Oh, maybe they mean like this is one of the reasons why you get it is to help with neck injuries and all that.
Training content, as well as our programs focused on goals, ranging from early stage rehab and posture improvement to advanced level training for athletes. You should now feel confident to hit the ground running with Iron Neck.
Actually, you know what? Unironically, people who like old people who are like, oh, I can't turn my neck, it hurts. This is probably actually good for them, I guess, huh?
Have any further questions, you can go to our website, iron-neck.com, or reach out to our support lines. We'll see you next time.
Resistance training for your neck is really unsafe. I really want to contribute to that conversation, but honestly, I don't know anything about that, so. How much are these? I mean, they're not, don't, stop! Don't ask me these questions. Now you're making me an advertiser. The price actually seemed kind of reasonable. Actually, I'm going to be honest, the price for this seemed way less than I thought it would be. I feel like this is some bullshit you sell for like 300 bucks. This is for the resistance band. What did the UFO helmet cost? Oh, they must have like a pro version and like a loser version. So you always have to buy the pro version because you want to be a loser, right? Hold on. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Not bad. Okay, it's you know, the price is up there, but God damn it. If you're an advanced Iron Neck user, can you withstand hanging yourself? Good question. How strong would your neck have to be to not get hanged? Can you imagine taking your girlfriend to the gym with one of these and training her? What do you think people would say? Watch. This looks like this person's getting like tortured or killed. What the fuck? Sit down. Jesus. What is this? Me training for my return to League of Legends. Yeah, that just seems retarded, but okay. Exhausting. Formula One workout routine. How many G's does a Formula One race car driver pull at like the most intense moments? Highest G force Formula One race car driver. 254 G's. Okay, let's not talk about accidents, okay? Jesus. Up to 6 G's during races. Jesus Christ. Did you see the suspected nation-state campaign that down Twitter all day? They aren't sure if it's being done by an APT or an actual country. I don't know what APT means. What country do you think would want Twitter downed? I have no clue.
This guy's been working out one side of his traps only for 4 months straight.
A high-powered mutant of some kind never even considered for mass production. Too weird to live, and too rare to die.
Okay. Wait, I've always wondered why, like, when people argue over dumb shit, over like hammer curls or normal or whatever, but there's like 20 different variations. Why are there more people who try, like, oh, on one side of my body, I'm going to do this lift. On the other side of the body, I'm going to do this lift, and then see what works at the end, see the difference. Why aren't there more people that do this? Muscle imbalance causes injuries? To who?
However, he is subjected to intense G-force that can reach up to 5G during cornering, which can put a significant strain on his neck. To overcome this challenge, Verstappen engages in regular neck workouts, which are crucial to maintain his fitness and endurance during races. Firstly, a strong neck is essential for maintaining a good posture while driving. The neck is responsible for holding up the head, which can weigh up to 5 kg.
My head weighs 7 kg. Are Formula One drivers, do they tend to be short? Like at that level of competition, do things like weight matter? Like I think, aren't like professional horse riders, aren't they usually like pretty short? Because I think the weight matters, right? Advanced persistent threat equals hacker groups like Equation Group, NSA, TAO, Lazarus Group, etc. They're either rogue or hired by countries like private military contractors. Weight doesn't matter, they equalize them. They have to put weights in the car to bring it up to a specific weight, including the driver. Oh. Well, cringe. It's not about weight that much, but actual space, I think. What does space have to do with F1 racing? We're not talking about the ISS. Retard. Got him. How much does a gallon of milk weigh? As much as my dick. Do you think it would be possible to use a large botnet to completely astroturf a new celebrity / influencer? Maybe. Rip. From what I understand of sleep apnea, which I have, the neck thickness issue is more about its correlation with overall fat mass in the neck, particularly fat accumulation in the tongue, which then limits airways. What is the tongue? Or was that supposed to be tongue? Can your tongue get fat?
Welcome to Pod Save America. I'm Tom.
Okay.
Running with.
Well, now we know all about the Iron Neck. Oh, sorry. We have 8 seconds left of this. Oh no, I'm in 8 seconds. Hold on.
For transitioning, he started envisioning a new world for all the new guys to go. And he checked his bank account, and there was like $1 billion in there from his work with Big Pharma. And so Joe thought, well, what if I create a special place for anyone that wants to be a new guy? And we'll all be new guys, and we'll support each other's guys.
Wait! Please, God, listen to me. If you work in any state, or if you're a staffer or anything, if you're anybody anywhere ever, please. There has to be a way to do this. There has to be a way to do this. There has to be a way to do this, okay? I'm so sorry. Hold on. This is important, I think. The first victims of Trump's trade war? Minnesotans struggling to pay their skyrocketing electric bill. Minnesota cannot afford Trump's billionaire-run economy. We have to put a stop to this madness. A long time ago, back when I lived in Omaha, I don't remember who our mayor was, but our mayor, was it Stothert? I think, maybe. Our mayor wanted to add an extra sales tax for, I think it was for restaurants, I think just downtown. And the idea is when people come into Omaha from other states or whatever, and we want to capture more revenue from those people, or for baseball games or Olympic swim meets or some bullshit, we wanted to capture more revenue from those people coming in. And obviously, the restaurant owners were super pissed. And what the restaurant owners did was on their receipts, they had written where that extra tax was, they called it the mayor's tax. I don't know if that survived or not, if they still have that. Nice. Omaha.com. Wow. This was 2 years ago. Restaurant tax. It was supposed to be temporary, but last year Omaha got $40 million from it. Nobody seems to care anymore. Matter of fact, before seeing this post, I forgot about it. It's not going anywhere. Mayor Jim Settle started it, and current Mayor Gene Stothert vowed to eliminate it during her campaign. 7 years later. Oh, well, never mind. Forget what I was going to say then, because I was like, this is a good marketing tactic. I'm just saying, if bills are going up because of tariffs, you should make that clear on the bill. So for instance, if energy would have been like $120, but now you have to pay 25% more due to some tariff, or if you're actually paying a tariff or some kind of tax, that should be clearly demarcated on a customer bill. So you can see, you can call it like the Trump tariff tax or Trump tariff increase or whatever, put that on the bill so that people can see how much their bill is going up by. Destiny, you are collectively dodging like 50 people who replied to your deportation of terrorist supporter tweet an hour ago, and quotes, please justify this take as it seems so far from mental stability. What take? My take, or the deporting permanent resident citizens? Or permanent residents, not permanent residents, not citizens. Can you just print whatever you want on a receipt? I don't know, maybe. I'm sure there's some regulation. I like the idea, but the problem is that your bill becomes miles long because in fairness, all tax should be included then. And what policy created the tax? Well, for energy bills, they're not usually that long. Depending on like an apartment bill, they might have like water and electricity and trash or some bullshit, but they shouldn't be that long. You should be able to see it pretty clearly. Make it a different color too. Put it in red. Great idea, but most of MAGA would think that's how much the tariff is saving them. Then make it in red, okay? Red ink. Hoping I can get you to watch 6 minutes of this video, relevant to memes as genes and propaganda tool. Bro, 7 hour and 45-minute video on a channel called Veritas. Why would you donate me $50 for this? Let me hear your best. Gabagool! Gabagool!
Feedback loops where engagement is the primary goal.
I feel like I've seen this same B-side footage on like 50 different conspiracy videos.
It's what's rewarded, where fear, anger, and outrage just so happen to be the organism most successful at survival and reproduction. The accidental creation of a system that behaves in a way that's nearly indistinguishable from an autonomous, unguided, self-replicating virus.
When I said that the reason why we explain evolution in terms of changes in gene frequencies, I said the reason for that was that only genes make exact copies of themselves through generations, and therefore only genes have a really significant difference between the successful ones and the unsuccessful ones. Now, in order to dramatize that point, in the last chapter of the first edition of The Selfish Gene, I wanted to make the point that actually anything which has that property that genes have of making exact copies of themselves, anything that has that property would do. If on some other planet, if on Mars, there is life, then I put my shirt on the prediction that it will be found to be Darwinian life, and that there'll be something equivalent to genes. There'll be something equivalent to DNA, which is very, very exactly copied. Not absolutely exactly, but usually exactly copied. There'll be something equivalent to DNA, and it may well not be DNA, it may be nothing like DNA. But of course, we haven't been to distant planets to find other forms of life. And so I instead said, maybe there's another kind of replicator on this planet that potentially could be doing the same job as DNA. And that's where the meme came from. The meme is the unit of cultural inheritance. It's anything that behaves like a gene in human culture. The equivalent of the act of reproduction at the genetic level would be the act of copying an idea from one brain to another.
Now, the idea of memes as genes is, unfortunately for us, I think, a disturbingly profound insight. I want to re-emphasize here that while this is certainly applicable to actual memes, like pictures with meme font on top, this also applies to simple ideas and even phrases. Water finds its own level. Gas pressure requires a container. Gravity is density and buoyancy. The Earth is not a spinning wet ball. It's a flat and stationary topographical plane. In this context, the quote-unquote fitness of a gene, the likelihood that it will survive and reproduce, is not actually tied at all to its accuracy or its truthfulness. What maximizes its chances of being passed on to another generation is how useful it is at conveying a particular message, communicating some piece of information, or eliciting a particular emotional response.
Okay, based, I guess. Why does this video have to be 7 hours and 44 minutes? What the fuck? Asked Speaker Johnson for his plan B if the GOP spending bill is blocked. I don't think it's going to get blocked, Johnson told us. Or Johnson just told us, because no one wants to shut the government down. It's going to be up to Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats to do the right thing. And I don't think they're going to shut the government down. If the House passes the bill, it will be up to the Senate to get 60 votes to advance it, so Dems could block it ahead of shutdown deadline or supply the votes. Okay, wait, so explain how this works. So the House just needs a simple majority, but the Senate needs 60 votes? Correct. Why for this? The Dow just dropped 1,000 points in one day? No, I don't think that's possible. Because, no, this can't be right. Didn't Donald Trump say if the Dow drops 1,000 points in a... Oh, no, he said 2 days. Wow, very prescient. Good job. Wait! Fake. Not real. Fake news. Well, I don't know if it's fake news, though, because this is a fact checker website, and fact checkers are all fake news. So, yes, that's the case for all legislation except reconciliation. Is that true? I didn't know that. Most legislation needs a simple majority in the House and then a supermajority in the Senate. Okay. Yeah, fact-checking is obsolete in Trump's America. I just need to read it on X. And after Trump's remarks not ruling out a recession, Johnson says he doesn't think there will be one. It takes a while for these policies to be ingrained, he said. He also said the House GOP is considering additional punishment against Al Green, as some hardliners want to boot him from committees. Because the Senate still has the filibuster, while the House got rid of that decades ago. Oh, okay, gotcha. Destiny, please tell me if I'm wrong. People always complain about tipped wages being so low, but don't tipped workers get paid up to the standard minimum wage if they don't get enough in tips? Or is that just the case in Massachusetts? If that's the case, then why does anybody care about the wage gap between the minimum and subminimum wage? No, the only people that complain about tipped wages are upper middle class white people that don't know anything about working service jobs, or server jobs, I should say. Tipped workers are never paid below the minimum wage. Not just because of any law requiring their wages to be made good by their employer, because I'm pretty sure that happens, they'll just fire you, but just because you tend to make more in those jobs than minimum wage anyway. It's just not the case. Like, you'd always rather a server job than working at fucking McDonald's, or at least back when I was young, unless that's flipped somehow, but...
Action towards some of these members after the Green incident. Some conservatives have called for additional discipline. Is that something you would endorse?
We're considering that. I mean, I've talked to a lot of Republicans over the weekend that were really disturbed by what happened on the floor.
Oh, also, sorry, for younger people, when I say tipped job usually means, for millennials and older, when we say tip job, we mean like server jobs, where you go to a restaurant and there's a person like brings you like your food and brings you drinks and everything and takes your order and stuff. I'm sorry, that might be confusing nowadays, because every single fucking job in America is apparently now a tipped job, because you can get tips doing literally fucking anything. So, but that's what I meant when I said that, sorry.
And it was an unprecedented break of decorum. It's the first time that anyone has had to be ushered out of the chamber while a president, an honored guest, was delivering an address like that. And we have to maintain the dignity of this institution. And so there are a lot of people very concerned about that. Mr. Green's comments after the event have not helped.
Holy shit. Where's Jader? When you subscribe to me, or if you donate money to me on my site, there should be a tip option, so you can tip your donation.
We said he would do it again, or will do it again, or something to that effect. I haven't had time to follow what he's saying, but others are, and people are upset about it.
The censure is pretty serious. I mean, there's only been isn't this going back
in
to
the history of the institution?
Isn't this going back to the well again if you were to do that?
Well, I don't know. These are the things we have to evaluate. I got to talk with my members. I mean, every member has the right to bring a privileged resolution, as you know, which is effectively an end run around the speaker. It's not always my decision on these things, but I'm trying to talk with my members about governing and demonstrating the difference between our side and...
Did you block Starlink from DGG? I sure did.
I think it was on vivid display Tuesday night. I think that what they did was a...
Holy shit, somebody's training with the iron neck back there. Can you hear him?
Vivid display Tuesday night. I think that what they did was an affirmation of why we won the election cycle decisively and why they did not. And so if they want to continue to act like that, I think that...
Stop paying for Twitter then? You literally have to pay a subscription thing on Twitter, otherwise your tweets get deboosted. What do you mean?
It's something that every American can see and evaluate for themselves, and I encourage them to keep acting like that.
Speaker, if the CR does not pass the House or the Senate, what is the plan B?
The CR will pass.
What if it gets blocked?
I don't think it's going to get blocked.
What makes you so confident that it will pass?
Because no one wants to shut the government down, and we are governing, doing the responsible thing as Republicans. It's going to be up to Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats to do the right thing, and I don't think they're going to shut the government down.
Okay, guys. You have the Republican votes. What do you think of Trump's comments that he didn't rule out a recession? He said that he wouldn't say that there would not be a recession. Does that concern you?
I didn't see those comments. I was pretty busy over the last few days.
Are you worried about the recession?
I'm not. I believe that the policies that we're putting forth are going to improve the economy and bring down costs for people. It takes a little while. We're in a transition period between Bidenomics and the disastrous economy that the previous administration left us, and it takes a while for these policies to be ingrained. We're going to codify this with the reconciliation process, and the bill is coming forward. But what the president's doing right now is trying to...
But a huge part of Ukraine relies on Starlink. People keep saying that a huge part of Ukraine relies on... Is that actually true, that a huge part of Ukraine relies on Starlink, or is it just like the forward fighting areas? Like if you're in Kiev, is everybody there on Starlink, or...
Transition us out of that economic disaster that he was left with. And it's going to be a little growing pains to do that, but it's happening.
Okay, guys. Speaker, on the budget, how can you guarantee that you'll actually have anywhere close to $1.5 trillion in cuts?
We have weeks to...
actually have anywhere close to $1.5 trillion in cuts?
We have weeks to go through and...
We've got weeks to find $1.5 trillion in cuts. Come on, how much can it be? $1.5 trillion? What is that? Like, it's funny, I guess. A trillion is a trillion 100,000 million? Or is it a million? Wait, a trillion. 1,000 million is a billion. Is it a million? Holy shit, that's a lot of monies. Uh-oh.
To do that, but it's happening.
Okay, guys. Speaker, on the budget, how can you guarantee that you'll actually have anywhere close to $1.5 trillion in cuts?
We have weeks to
got
go
weeks.
through and debate and fine-tune the details on that. Just stay tuned. We're not going to have final answers on that for weeks, but this is what we anticipated. We'll find the necessary level of cut to get all the votes that we need on that.
Still to $1.5 trillion or less?
Yes, budget in the CR.
Thank you, Comrade Trio. I will be stealing that joke for Twitter. Wait, has somebody made that joke yet? Can someone tell the Republicans that they're supposed to be cutting trillions from the budget and not the stock market? Has that joke been made yet? No? Good. Yes, post. Yes. Thank you, comrade. Wait, hold on. Are the markets actually significantly down, or is this just amplified by Schadenfreude? No, the markets are significantly down right now. What is it? Have we wiped out, is it 6 months of gain so far? We're still up okayly after a year. And we're sitting at about where we were 6 months ago, almost. That's for the S&P 500. Dow Jones is still decent for a year. It's up 2.25% for the past 6 months. Not the greatest. I feel like the question is always going to be, like, because I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. Is how much have the markets priced in the current tariffs? Like, I don't know if people think the tariffs are real or not yet. I don't know if everybody thinks these are just going to go away in a week or two, and so everybody's just kind of waiting for that. Like, it might be that these tariffs going into effect, and then Trump saying maybe there'll be a recession. Maybe the markets are starting to price in more. They're like, okay, wait, hold on. This might be for real. So maybe it's possible that, like, on April 1st, there's no talk of the tariffs rolling back, and then the markets tumble even harder. Or it might be that this is with all the tariffs staying priced in, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's not how it works. The market prices in tariffs every day they're still on. You price in him switching up also. If we fully priced in the tariffs and never leaving, the markets would be down 40% right now. I don't know what you're saying that contradicts what I just said, but okay. Look at Walmart, Target, and Costco. Damn, 5.3% today. Nvidia and Tesla are also tumbling too. And our CrowdStrike is tumbling too. Damn, 16%. What are your other big... Sick. Jesus Christ. Check out VGT Index. Vanguard Technology. Is it VGT? out the year-to-date on Tesla. Jesus. What total monetary amount does it equate to? We probably won't get a report of that until the end of the day. In an hour? When did the markets close? Is it 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock? How much total market cap of S&P 500 is 52.2 trillion. So I imagine we're probably in the hundreds of billions of value lost, at least, right? That's just in the S&P 500. Maybe in the trillions? How much value market lost today? Over $1 trillion today, do you think? In the markets? I'm not sure. I don't even know if somebody keeps track of stuff like that. Tesla and ServiceNow RSIs are really low. What is an RSI? I don't know what that means. Relative Strength Index is one of the most widely used momentum indicators in technical analysis. Okay. Elon Musk's wealth takes a hit. $22.2 billion loss in one day. This is for Binance. Why do I care about this? I don't care about this. Look at 5 years on Tesla. Isn't $1 trillion lost in the American stock market $1 trillion of GDP lost, or at least a decent amount of GDP lost? I don't believe investments are calculated in GDP, and they don't necessarily correlate, although there's going to obviously, or they don't necessarily cause, like a drop in stock price wouldn't necessarily cause a stock or the company to produce less goods or services, although there's obviously going to be a good degree of correlation between the two. But wait, why is this not popping up? Tesla stock. Wait, am I doing something wrong? What did I type in before? Oh, I'm under news. Sorry, that's why. Somebody said check out the 5 year. It's the same. What? It's still up 500% after 5 years. Good one, dipshit. It's the same as 2020. Oh, I see. True. 2021, basically. Yeah. Or down, actually. Yes. If the board removes Musk, will you purchase a Tesla as your next car? Well, somebody brought up a good point that as much as you might view Musk as damaging Tesla, like, Musk might literally be Tesla. Like, Musk is the Tesla brand. And if they were to drop Musk, the volatility would decrease, but the value of the company might dramatically decrease as well. It's hard to say, you know? Snarkers are insane. A lot of this dump might be because of Europe and the rest of the world cutting ties with Tesla. Maybe. You have to be really careful with Tesla stock analysis, though, because there is no fundamental... Like Tesla is driven on hopes and dreams. The stock price is, right? I'm pretty sure this PE ratio is still like in fantastically stupid worlds. 109.17, like... Even Apple's is considered high, right? I don't even know. What is a normal PE ratio? Isn't it normally under like 20, or am I making that up? What is considered normal PE ratio stock? is 20 to 25. Okay. It's basically how much revenue is earned per share of stock. But if you stock split, does that double your price? Or wait, price to earnings. If I have 100, oh no, because it divides both of them by 2. The earnings would go to half, but the price goes to half because it's a split, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so PE should always be the same before or after. It doesn't matter. Okay. Watch Elon get margin called on Tesla. What would he get margin called on? He owns the stock now. Jesus. Sorry. That's mean.
And you can't even take care of your fucking kids. Why don't you tell your wife, too? She should be taking care of your kids, too. Both of y'all. Instead, you're posted up complaining about how you got CPS called and they're investigating you, homie. And you're posting on Instagram? Ah. Oh, I hope his kids get taken away from him. Oh, I hope so. They would be so much better off. Fuck.
Jesus. Hello, we have a hot fucking mess here. What the fuck? What is happening? Is this a real person? Or apparently it's an H3 snark person. Why? The whole point of being a snark or something like that is you're not supposed to ever reveal who you are, guys. Come on. I'm not watching the new H3 video. Stop spamming about it. It literally just got released like 5 seconds ago. I'm not going to fucking watch a video that's like 1 minute old, okay? Bring it up tomorrow. Damn. Stocks continue falling as recession worries surface. On track for their worst day of the year so far. It's only 3 months in, right? The S&P 500 slid 3.3%, the sharpest daily decline in a 3-week-long stretch of selling. The index is now more than 9% below a record set last month and approaching a correction, a Wall Street term for a decline of 10% or more from a recent high. Is this supposed to be like a thing of disrespect that they call him Mr. Trump instead of President Trump? Or over the past few weeks, Mr. Trump has threatened, imposed, suspended, and resumed tariffs on America's largest trade partners, Canada, Mexico, and China. New York Times always uses Mr. Oh, okay, they never use President. Okay. They should just call him Donald. True. Oh, it's President Trump first, then Mr. afterwards. Oh, true. Fuck. We've read this 3 times. I keep forgetting this. Okay. We will not allow President Trump and congressional Republicans to play politics with our economy while hardworking New Yorkers foot the bill. Schumer and I are calling on President Trump to rescind his tariffs before they hurt working families even more. Ooh, wait. Before like a budget gets approved? Because that would be based. But it wouldn't be enough for the president to rescind them, right? The president would have to there'd have to be some guarantee that they wouldn't come back. And I don't even know if the president could do that. Like he would just say, okay, I promise. And then he would just do it again, no? Bitcoin is crashing as well. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, can somebody overlay me like the price of Bitcoin on like the S&P 500? I'm pretty sure most crypto just like follows the markets. Even though people will act like it's this huge hedge against like market downturns or whatever. I'm pretty sure crypto for the most part just like follows whatever the markets are doing, generally speaking. But I could be wrong on that. Somebody give me a graph, okay? Congress could rescind Trump's ability to implement tariffs as it was a power granted to the president in 1978. Whoa, bro, you're talking about legislation there. Wow, the playing question. We've already done this on stream. No one cares. President Trump's reckless tariffs on Canadian energy imports will be a direct financial hit to New Yorkers, driving up utility costs, disrupting energy markets, and creating uncertainty for businesses and families. In response, Ontario has announced retaliatory tariffs on electricity exports, escalating the crisis and threatening the reliability to our energy supply. We are calling on the federal government and Ontario to immediately reverse these harmful policies and are directing New York state agencies to conduct an urgent review to ensure transparency on the real cost to consumers. Yeah, that sounds like a labeling thing. Hell yeah. Gold, S&P 500, and Bitcoin. Gold is a little independent, I guess. The reason electricity is higher now is because Ontario, Canada is charging a 25% surcharge. Started today. Yeah, we saw that. That was Dougie, right? There was and still is a massive cyber attack against X. We get attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources. Either a large coordinated group and or a country is involved. Tracing, ... God, he's so fucking cringe. Tracing, tracer, Also true. This is getting blamed on Ukraine 1 trillion%. Elon Musk's shocking claim amid Tesla feud. That short position will bankrupt Bill Gates. Elon Musk fucking hates short sellers. He fucking hates them. Elon Musk reignited his feud with Bill Gates, alleging Gates' short position against Tesla could bankrupt him. Musk criticized the Microsoft founder for betting against Tesla while seeking support for environmental causes, sparking debate over Gates' financial strategies and clean energy. How long was the position for or whatever? This article was posted on December 12th, 2024. It says updated. I'm going to assume it was around the same time. Oh my God. In other developments, Musk has also recently expressed his admiration for Google's latest quantum computing breakthrough, the Willow chipset. The announcement from Google elicited a wow from Musk, followed by a suggestion from Sundar Pichai, who proposed we should consider building a quantum cluster in space using Starship someday. Musk responded enthusiastically, saying, "That's likely to happen. A truly advanced civilization should aim to achieve at least Kardashev Type 2 status. In my view, humanity is currently operating at less than 5% of Type 1. To reach approximately 30%, we would need to deploy solar panels across all deserts and highly arid regions." God, he's so fucking cringe. Do you think a united Canada can beat a divided U.S. in a trade war? No, but I think Canada plus Mexico could. And I think Canada plus Mexico plus EU definitely could. Destiny, it'd be good to know the legal definitions of treason, espionage, sabotage, etc. What would it take to try and charge someone for that? Nobody cares about these things anymore, my dude. We already had convictions for seditious conspiracy, and those are all pardoned now, so apparently nobody gives a fuck.
For weeks now, we've been faced with so much uncertainty coming from President Trump. Each day brings new tariff threats. Now, President Trump is threatening tariffs on steel and aluminum. He's pointing his finger at dairy and lumber, shifting timelines, different excuses, chaos and confusion. It's hurting workers, it's hurting businesses. It's hurting investments, and it's hurting families on both sides of the border. It needs to end. That's why I've been crystal clear. Until these tariffs are off the table, until the threat of tariffs is gone for good, Ontario will not relent. We will not back down, pausing some tariffs, making last-minute exemptions. It won't cut it.
Bitcoin uses electricity. That's why it's dropped, not the market. I don't know if I think that would ever be the case. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin is mined in like highly efficient data areas now that have like access to super cheap electricity. I would be surprised if that much of it is mined in parts of the U.S. that rely on Canadian energy that would impact it that much. I would be surprised. I guess it could be the case, but I don't know. Where is most Bitcoin these days mined, actually?
We need to end the chaos once and for all. We need to sit down, work together, and land a fair deal. A deal that gives businesses the confidence to invest. A deal that gives workers the security they need and deserve. Until then, Ontario will keep up the fight. We will apply maximum pressure to maximize our leverage. That's why today we're moving forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity exports. For the 1.5 million American homes and businesses that Ontario powers, homes and businesses in Minnesota, Michigan, and New York. This surcharge will cost families and businesses in these states up to $400,000 each and every single day. On an average, this will add around $100 per month to the bills of hardworking Americans. Let me be clear, I will not hesitate to increase this charge. If necessary, if the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely.
Damn.
Believe me,
we're getting Gaza'd right now. What the fuck?
I say I do not want to do this. I feel terrible for the American people because it's not the American people who started this trade war. It's one person who's responsible. That's President Trump. I'd rather be working together. I want to sell the U.S. more energy, more electricity, more critical minerals. I want to make Canada and the United States the richest, most successful, safest, most secure two countries on the planet. But as Premier, my number one job is to protect the people of Ontario and in hand protect the people of Canada. I will do whatever it takes. I will fight like I've never fought before to protect Ontario. Friends, none of this makes sense. Costly tariffs against your closest friends and allies do not make sense. The U.S. markets have lost trillions in value. Companies are second-guessing investments into the American economy. American workers' jobs are at risk as we speak right now. Cost of hardworking American families will only go up. It doesn't have to be this way. We are stronger when we work together. I hope we can get back to working together, creating jobs, growing our economies, lowering costs for families in both countries. We don't get there by easing up. We will remain strong. We will be relentless. We will do whatever it takes to protect Ontario.
In addition to these new retaliatory tariffs from China, Canada's tariffs on the U.S. are still in place. Last week, it put a 25% levy on things like beer, fruit and vegetables, shoes, cosmetics, and more. And today, Ontario starts charging a 25% surcharge on electricity to 3 U.S. states, Minnesota, Michigan, and New York. The tariff war and opposition to President Trump has actually unified Canadians. Listen to these remarks from Mark Carney, who's expected to be Canada's next prime minister. He was just elected to head the Liberal Party yesterday, soon potentially to be sworn in as PM.
How fucking mad if you're that Pierre guy. He was supposed to be, he was like a shoo-in, right? Is there a market for that, or am I overestimating how confident it was that he was going to be the next PM? The Canadian Conservatives just got so unbelievably fucking shafted by Trump. Oh my fucking God. Holy shit.
The Canadian government has rightly retaliated and is rightly retaliating with our own tariffs that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact here in Canada.
Like the Conservatives were set to win this election, and then they just got this. It just got unbelievably, absolutely fucked by Trump being unhinged. New Democratic. Is your Democratic Party in Canada considered left or right? They're left. Okay. The new Dems are progressive. Okay. Oh, they're like the Bernie wing. They're far left. Oh, okay, gotcha.
And my government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect.
Let's discuss with Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, which is the province that started to impose that surcharge on 1.5 million homes and businesses in the United States. He also ordered all U.S. alcohol to be removed from Ontario shelves. Premier, thank you so much for sharing part of the afternoon with us. What do you hope to achieve with this surcharge? What needs to happen for you to remove it?
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me on, Boris. And I start off every interview with telling Americans that Canadians love Americans. I love Americans. It's one person that's caused this problem, and that's President Trump. As he is putting tariffs on us, even if he says he's putting it on hold, there's still 60% of goods that are crossing the borders that will be tariffed, and it's hurting both economies. It's hurting the American economy. It's hurting the Canadian economy. Uncertainty is what people don't like hearing in general life, not to mention the markets are tumbling, and investors from around the world are looking twice at America and Canada to invest in. There's no reason for a recession. I call it the self-made Donald Trump recession. He ran on a mandate.
Well, that's a really shitty name. Find something catchier than that. The self-made Donald Trump recession. Okay, get an acronym in here or something.
Lower prices to make sure we didn't have inflation, create more jobs, and it's backfired. So let's sit down at the table and let's start working on a new USMCA deal, even though President Trump said it was the greatest deal he's ever made. Nothing's changed, so I guess it's not the greatest deal now.
Oh, true. Thank you for bringing this up. Yes.
His argument would be that he's trying to remake the American economy to produce more goods that are currently imported.
Worth noting, the Canadian elections haven't happened yet. Carney's just taking over as Trudeau's successor in the interim.
The U.S. here at home with these electricity surcharges, you say that the move is designed to protect your province. The administration, if they see it as an escalation and they reciprocate with tariffs on lumber, steel, and dairy, ultimately, doesn't that hurt your constituents?
No, we're looking at negotiating through strength. If he cuts off the lumber, puts a tariff, do you know whose costs are going up? It's the American people that want to buy a home. They're going to pay more for their home or steel that they need or aluminum.
I mean, he's lying. This is going to hurt Canadians too. But hey, listen, sell it how you got to sell it, okay?
There's only 16% of aluminum is manufactured in the U.S. They rely on over 60% aluminum to come down there for their goods. High-grade nickel coming out of Ontario. That 50% of the high-grade nickel for your military, aerospace, and manufacturing comes from Ontario. And the list keeps going on and on and on, not to mention the 4.3 million barrels of crude oil that we ship down every single day. So I believe in building an AMCAN fortress. Let's make sure that we focus on having the two greatest countries in the world, the most prosperous, the richest, the safest. The problem's not Canada, it's China right now. And he has to keep an eye on China.
I do want to ask you about the question of
I like the recentering of, I thought Trump was going after China. Shouldn't he be going after China? Wouldn't we all be stronger against China?
And specifically on one claim, because I've heard it from Trump and a number of officials in his administration, most recently Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. He argues that Canada has a 255% tariff on dairy imports. The administration has cited that over and over again. Is that number accurate? Do you think it's fair for American dairy farmers?
Well, what I'd like to do is sit down and discuss these issues with them at the USMCA table. What I will tell you this. If we take the 4.3 million barrels a day that we ship down there to keep your economy going off the balance sheet, the U.S. has a $56 billion surplus, a trade surplus with Canada. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Things were going fine. Everything was moving forward. Market was going up a little bit. Everyone was optimistic. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he wants to attack his closest neighbor and ally. And his number, I call their number one customer. You don't attack your number one customer and expect the results that he thought were going to happen. Protectionism does not work, especially between Canada and the U.S. Maybe you should take a page out of Ronald Reagan's book.
Premier, I do want to ask you about Mark Carney. He is in line to become the next prime minister. We saw Justin Trudeau's relationship with Trump evolve and then ultimately degrade. How do you think Mark Carney is going to approach President Trump?
Well, Mr. Carney is a very, very bright individual, and it's up to Mr. Carney to build that relationship with President Trump. They're both bright people. Let's make no mistake about it. Agree or disagree with President Trump. He understands finances. So does Mark Carney, and so do I. We're business people, and if we sit down around the table, we can resolve the problem and make sure that both countries prosper, like the likes of which this country's never seen or the likes of which the U.S. has never seen if we work together.
Premier Doug Ford, we appreciate you joining us and sharing your point of view.
Thank you so much, and God bless America and God bless Canada. Thank you so much.
Best friends forever?
The Americans want our resources, our water, our land, our country. Think about it. If they succeeded, they would destroy our way of life. We didn't ask for this fight. We didn't ask for this fight. But Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans, they should make no mistake, in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
That was Mark Carney, the soon-to-be Canadian Prime Minister. And what you just saw and listened to was the latest example of how a once unbreakable bond between the U.S. and Canada has fractured as President Trump advances his trade war against both Canada and Mexico. Tariffs on Canada are expected to go into effect on April 2nd. My panel is back now. Nia,
how do you both sides this? What?
Canada has it in him. Let's see how he takes.
Why does CNN have the both siding panels? Does Fox News have liberal commentators on their shows?
Yeah, as he takes over.
I think that's right. I mean, you saw over the last many weeks Donald Trump talking about Canada.
Or I'm assuming I hear panel. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're all left-leaning people. Never mind.
Diverse state, talking about Trudeau as Governor Trudeau. That's become sort of his moniker. And now this is a new person. What's been interesting is that Trump has brought Trudeau's party back to life, right? There was this really sort of resurgent interest in a more conservative party. And now you have in this person somebody who's really benefiting from this fight with Donald Trump. Who knew that America would want to be at war with the Canadians? But apparently it's based on a South Park movie.
Okay, so bring us up to speed on that. And if the South Park guys are listening, just come on anytime and
that was the premise
talk
of that
about
movie.
it.
Going to war with Canada, and that's essentially, what's interesting is how the rhetoric also from the new incoming Canadian Prime Minister, much different than what we're seeing from our Mexican partners, Claudia Sheinbaum, the way she has approached Donald Trump, which is a little bit, obviously what we've seen other leaders do, try to softer rhetoric, if you will. This is, we're going right at him. But Nia's absolutely right. The domestic politics in Canada are absolutely fascinating. It has led to this nationalistic fervor within Canada that has boosted the Trudeau's party and potentially could ultimately undercut what Donald Trump wants to achieve here. But if he's talking tough, the new incoming leader on Donald Trump, I doubt Donald Trump is going to back off. He wants people to talk nicely to him for him to back off. But the rhetoric will only be ratcheted up.
Inside Canadian politics.
Yes.
Let's look a little bit at the U.S.-Canada alliance, the economic alliance. And the bilateral trade is about $2.5 billion in goods and services a day. 400,000 people cross between countries every day. The U.S. has maintained the official presence in Canada since 18.
I'm aware of the 250% tariff talking point is bullshit. I know, but it's not worth it. Troubles don't live in reality. There's a new lie every single day. The $350 billion to Ukraine talking point is bullshit. Every single talking point is bullshit, but they don't care.
33, and I didn't actually realize this, that they share the world's longest undefended border.
Yeah, and it's the bottom line there is that there is a lot of opportunity for Canada to channel this nationalistic fervor into making Americans feel real political pain. I mean, there's no corresponding anti-Canada faction in the U.S. that also wants to get the bit in their teeth and really go sock it to those guys, right? And by and large, U.S. consumers just want to see lower prices, a strong economy, and now that we are kind of creating with our own political moves this new guerrilla faction that's just determined to stop that from happening for our people in order to try to shake loose some kind of change at the top level. The other weird thing about it is just the fact that, like you say, Canada and Mexico are pursuing such different strategies. And you can see Trump react to those in real time, right? Where he is sort of showering praise on Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, meanwhile getting angrier and angrier at Canadian leadership, while supposedly the pretext for all these things is drugs coming over the borders and things like that. So as you say, it's definitely a risky strategy if the goal is to get Trump to back off.
So on that note, now is it's time for our truth sandwich portion of the lunch hour, if you will. And we're going to start by referring to what Nia was talking about earlier, and that is the whole question of fentanyl and whether or not that is one of the really big problems coming from Canada. It is a very big problem in the U.S., but not from Canada. Let's, though, listen to what some of the Republicans, including in the president's administration, are claiming.
We launched a drug war, not a trade war, and it was part of a negotiation to get Canada and Mexico to stop shipping fentanyl across our borders.
You're saying this really is about fentanyl? It really is about fentanyl. It really is. And I think the president obviously wants a strong economy, obviously wants better trade deals as well. But this is about fentanyl.
Now, again, it is a problem in the United States. It is a problem when it comes to the southern border of the United States, where it's coming in much more from Mexico. But when it comes to Canada, check this out. So the total pounds seized of fentanyl, almost 22,000 pounds. The northern border, 43 pounds. So it's less than 1% of the very dangerous and scary fentanyl problem. And that's
less than, what would this be, 0.2%? Because 1% would be like 218. 0.1% would be 22. 0.2% would be 44. This is like 0.2% of all.
The reality.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have seen Canada make some moves around this. Again, they're barely part of the problem. It is a big problem. Mexico is a really big part of the problem. And they, too, Claudia Sheinbaum, even before Trump was in office, wanted to go aggressively at some of these drug cartels. She's doing that. You saw them cooperate in trying to have some of these drug warlords prosecuted. So there is something happening with this. The question, I think, for Trump is, will it be enough, or are there just going to be sort of shifting explanations for why these tariffs are happening or aren't happening?
I mean, they can say it's a drug war, not a trade war all they want, but it is a trade war.
Yeah, it is.
People will feel it. And, I'll be interested in, from my perch, watching how some of those members from northern states in Maine, the Senator Susan Collins is very concerned about the impacts on tariffs impacting the Maine economy. Wisconsin House members are concerned about the impact on agriculture.
Even Ron Johnson.
Ron Johnson is concerned. Chuck Grassley from the Iowa members and how it will impact their farmers. So this is, yes, they could say drug war. That could be their argument to try to ease concerns, but people start feeling it, and that's going to change the dynamic.
And it's important to note, too, that one of the reasons that Canada is so upset and aggrieved over this whole thing is that even though they were a small part of the problem last year, they had already also taken significant steps to try to show Donald Trump they were doing more to police the small bit of fentanyl that was coming over their border. I mean, CBP data for January had a fraction of a single pound of fentanyl seized. I think I saw the size of a AAA battery was the amount of fentanyl that was seized at that border in January. And then on the back of that, Trump ratchets up the trade war. So they're like, what do you want us to do? What's the standard you want us to meet?
Well, Canada's Liberal Party has picked Mark Carney to be the party leader and Canada's next prime minister. Carney, a former central banker, got the backing of 85% of his party. And he says in government, he'll keep the interests of Canadians front and center.
I pledge to you.
What do you want me to say? It's fucking retarded. Tulsi Gabbard, per POTUS directive, I've revoked security clearances and barred access to classified information for Anthony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, Lisa Monaco, Mark Zaid, Norman Eisen, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, and Andrew Weissman, along with the 51 signers of the Hunter Biden disinformation letter. The president's daily brief is no longer being provided to former President Biden. Jesus Christ. Oh, somebody emailed me about security clearances. That was interesting. I think this guy's an airplane pilot. Wait, maybe not. Nope. Wait. Yes. So he's emailed me about stuff before, but... responding to your conversation with the ex-Democrat lawyer here regarding security clearances, specifically the Trump EO stripping clearances from a law firm doing pro bono work for a political opponent. This guy was in the Air Force as well. Was or is in the Air Force. Security clearances are not traditionally political tools. They are risk assessments. If the government has given a military member a security clearance, for example, it should generally run for the length of the clearance. So for a TSSCI, which I had, that would be 5 years with investigation to renew it. Basically, if the normal process, not the one where Trump waived the process for family members, specifically Kushner, gave someone a clearance, they hopefully aren't a risk around classified material. The unusual part is the targeted withdrawal of certain clearances for any political reason. From the reading I've done and personal experience I've had, and I could be wrong, it's just not something that's done without specific cause, though you'll be in an inactive status if you leave an agency. You may find more purchase in your arguments when you divorce security clearances from the politics. It shouldn't be a political tool to be revoked or granted at whim. It's the government's risk assessment and is more reliant on a financial/background/relationship with foreign entities or people and character analysis. If you've fairly received a clearance, you should generally just hold it until the expiration date. Or you should generally just hold until the expiration date. I'm struggling to find examples prior to the Trump admin of security clearances being pulled like this. The fickle withdrawal of a clearance is the weird fashy behavior. It's still crazy to me that I feel like whenever I'm debating any of these people, there's just an infinite amount of excuses that are given for Trump's behavior. Whatever. Does it make sense that Canada's fentanyl seizures would probably be a lot less, considering they have way less border enforcement? I'm not saying it would be much. It doesn't matter. No, stop. Don't get mind fucked. This has nothing to do with fentanyl. Trump has to declare a national emergency in order to be able to levy a tariff. Fentanyl is just the excuse for the emergency so that he can levy the tariff. The tariffs are for economic war. That's what we're doing. He wants to do tariffs for economic policy, but he can't really do that legally, so he just has to declare an emergency, and then he can do it. That's the whole reason. Joe Rogan talks Iron Neck. Oh, this is from earlier.
I got this thing I want to show you. And every grappler.
Do you think there's a bit more hesitation even from Trump voters to be this belligerent towards Canada because you share more values with them in comparison to Mexico, Korea, or Russia? I don't know, but the majority of conservatives probably think that Canada is somewhat socialist or communist. So I don't know if the majority of conservative voters think that Canada shares a lot of values with the United States. I just don't know what the average opinion is. Like, I know my mom has thought that Canada is kind of a socialist country. Same with every single European country as well. I don't know what the average conservative sense is, but my guess is most of them think Canada's kind of socialist or conservative. So
I got this thing I want to show you. And every grappler should get one of these. You should get one for the gym. It's called an Iron Neck. And it was created by this guy who is a former football player, and he created it to deal with CTE. He's like, a lot of what these guys are getting, they're getting from their head getting snapped. And he's like, and I think you can mitigate a lot of that with neck strength. But a lot of the different things that people create for neck strength, this is him showing me how to do it. We got one here. So you strap this thing on your head, you pump it up. It's like a Reebok pump. Remember those pumps where you press it? It gets real tight to your head. And then you're pulling on that bungee cord. That black cord is 50 pounds of resistance. And so I'm pulling back, and he's like straightening out my posture. And then there's resistance and turning the band. Phenomenal. Wow. I love that thing. I love it.
How often do you do it?
Whenever I want to. I have one in my house, and I have one here. So I do it all the time. I did it yesterday.
He's got two of them.
It's part of my workout yesterday. I like to start off my workout with it. I put it on, and I go through a whole series of Stevie Wonders. It's like you have it on your head, and you go like this. And
oh, shit. That's what I was doing on my Sargon. Wait, Sargon or JonTron? No, it was Wait, I don't remember which one it was. I was just doing my Iron Neck pre-workout.
What it does is, you know who's real big on it? Aaron Pico. He loves that thing. He said it turned his neck into a weapon. You know, and for me, I had some pretty big problems with my neck for a while. I think from two things: from not tapping, and two from head and arm chokes. Because I was doing a lot of head and arm chokes on this side.
Put pressure on that side.
You're always using your neck. You know, your neck becomes a part of your game. And I never really strengthened my neck other than training. And this has made a big difference. But that machine is like one of the best methods I've ever found of strengthening your neck, stabilizing your neck. I'm a giant fan of it. And you can either have it on a bungee cord, or some people put it on one of them cable machines. Like I would imagine if you were some Francis Ngannou fella, you would want even more resistance. Oh, that's in Austin. They're doing that at the Onnit gym. I'm a big fan of this thing. I think every grappler in particular, because how many people have neck problems?
Oh, I mean, to not have them is weird.
Yeah, it is. And I think
turn your neck into a weapon.
This is a great machine.
A lethal weapon, yes.
Hi, one herbal tea, please.
Which flavor?
Jasmine?
Sorry, I meant for the boba.
The little spheres of tapioca and sugar?
The tea comes with boba.
Well, it doesn't, because I see the tea right there and I see the boba over there. So why don't we just not combine them? Yeah? You know, so I'll take the tea without the covert diabetes delivery mechanism, please.
The system won't let me do that.
Okay, yeah, no, fine. One boba, please. We'll call it a mental health day treat. Self-care, right? Isn't that what people call it whenever they need an excuse to do whatever the fuck they want?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, of course you don't. Of course you don't. One chewy sugar tea, please.
All right, you can scan the code.
Why?
Because the code takes you to the app.
That's 2 apps today. Yeah. Got apps for everything, you know? Even though I'm already talking to the person that could just take my order right here, but I got to download an app, right? How about this? I have cash. You have tea. Why don't we just streamline things?
We don't take cash, though.
Yeah. How about cards? You take cards?
Yes.
Oh, great.
But there is a $10 minimum. There's no minimum on the app, though.
Sorry, it's it's not your fault. You know, you didn't create the system. The system is...
Walk me through the joke, please. A long time ago, 15, 20 years ago, you could just like walk into places and buy things using a credit card or cash. But nowadays, every fucking restaurant has an app that you blah, 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 blah.
It's just, it is what it is, and we're both victims here, so...
What?
Nothing. 2 boba teas, please.
The SEC Rule 201, the uptick rule, has been triggered, and the related exchanges have implemented a short sale restriction in accordance with their policies. Short selling is still permitted within the SEC Rule 201 criteria met. Short sale restrictions. Oh, Tesla and what is MSTR? Triggered a stop for short selling. Nice. This is normal. Whoever took this screenshot is fucking retarded. It's normal that the volatility of a given stock gets so fucking high they have to kill the derivative market for it for the day. I feel like definitionally it's probably not normal. Unless you mean this is like standard procedure, which is probably true. It happens every other day. The Tesla stock triggers the rule to stop short selling every other day. MSTR makes no money other than selling their own shares and taking out loans to buy Bitcoin. Based. This uptick rule is applied if a stock falls over 10% during one trading day. I don't think this is happening to Tesla every single or every other day, no? Although over the last few months, I'm sure it's happened a few times. Oh, fuck. Okay. Sorry. We're behind on our links. This is from the Joe Rogan thing. We watched this a long time ago. I just want to remember the glazing here. Oh, my God.
Did he bring the other one as well?
One more that's outside, I think.
Huh?
I don't know which is outside.
There's a
but
box.
still one more
Sam, if you're watching,
Small.
it's a small box. Yeah, if you can bring that one, that'd be great. First one is... Hold on. Okay, so I'm betting myself. I think you're going to love one of them. I hope it goes in your comedy club. Okay. I think the other ones you're going to be like, whatever, because you could buy it yourself. But then the other two, I think one of them may make it on the wall. It's a competition because you got like 100 pieces sitting around that's not on the wall. Okay, so we'll see what's going to happen. First of all, so you're a Jimi Hendrix guy, right? I think you're a Jimi Hendrix guy. Perfect. I got this. We looked up to see what we can do with Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix did a month-long did a special Jimi Hendrix pen that while you're sitting here writing stuff, I know you're probably not a big guy that you care about having a fancy pen or not, but we got you the special limited edition Mont pen with Jimi Hendrix. I hope you like it.
Sure
okay,
like it.
so that's one. Two, I think when I edition Mont pen with Jimi Hendrix.
What is this? What is he saying? A month long? A month long? Mont Blanc? Mont Blanc? Is it just a type of pen?
Not a big guy that you care about having a fancy pen or not.
Mont Blanc. Okay. It's a French brand.
but we got you the special limited edition Mont Blanc pen with Jimi Hendrix. I hope you like it.
Sure
Okay,
I like it.
so that's one. Two, I think when I think about personalities that kind of push the envelope a little bit, presidents in the past that were anti-establishment people that pushed the envelope. One of the names you think about a guy named Andrew Jackson. Okay.
Okay.
So,
of course.
This took me a minute to find this, but this is a letter written by Andrew Jackson, president, signed at the bottom with COA, and he is known as the first ever anti-establishment president, minus the founding fathers. So I hope you like this. This represents that aspect of you.
That's
okay.
amazing.
Wow.
So that's this part. Now, next one. You've gone down the rabbit hole with John F. Kennedy assassination, what happened there, what happened to him, all this other stuff. So let me see what we can find with this. This took us a minute to find as well. This piece, Joe, is the actual, this is the actual Warren Commission letter, okay, signed by Gerald Ford, okay, the letter to the right is the Warren Commission. Then you have the autograph of Jack Ruby. Then you got the autograph of Lee Harvey Oswald, and you got the autograph of John F. Kennedy.
Wow.
Okay. So I hope you like this. With the letter, COA, all of it. Okay.
Okay.
And then the last one, I'm convinced this is the one that I think you're going to like a lot.
Okay.
How many gifts do you normally?
This one took us a minute
Jesus.
to find. Okay. I'll put it here if you don't mind. So, oh man, this one was work, bro. I hope you like it. Okay. Who's one of your favorite comedians of all time?
Richard Pryor.
Who else?
Lenny Bruce.
Okay. So, I called around.
How old is this video? 1 year ago, maybe? Unless it was just uploaded a year ago. But this is when he went on his... Well, this says hashtag 2016. Is that just a thing they add for Joe Rogan podcast shows? Oh, no. This is taken from Joe Rogan Experience 2016. Okay, never mind. So this is like 9 years old. He was glazing a long time ago. All right.
And I spoke to Lenny Bruce's daughter, Kitty. Okay. I don't know if they know who she is or not.
Yeah,
So I spoke to her, yeah. And I said, guys, I want to find something special for Joe that's tied with Lenny Bruce. So you open up a comedy shop. This is with the what do you call it when you're doing is it a stand?
Mic stand.
Mic stand?
Yeah.
Okay. When he would go on the road, he had a mic stand and a mic that he would use. I think this is from 1959.
Wait, that's the episode number. This is from 2021. Oh, so hashtag... Okay. Gotcha. So it's like 3 or 4 years old.
This is the original mic
Wow.
Lenny Bruce used. Okay.
Wow. I know where that's going. That's going to the club.
So now, if you don't want to do it that way, you want to put the stand. We got the stand there as well.
Oh, no, come on, man. That's
If
perfect.
you put the
wall.
frame, you got the frame.
Yeah, we need the frame. That's amazing.
So you know, for me, when I was, you know, we were wanting to come down sooner. That was the missing piece. That's the one I wanted to get for you.
Wow.
And I said, let's wait till we get that, and we'll come and present it to him.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wait. Episode here, it's 2023. Okay, so then it was like last year. Why would you say... Who's answering... Why say it's the episode number? This is from like 2021. Why say it if you have no idea? Why even say that? Why not just...
Thank you. Wow.
I know for a guy like you, Joe, it takes, you know, when people give me gifts, it's kind of hard to get a gift for somebody that they're going to have a reaction to, because you can buy all this stuff yourself. But the hard thing is finding it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So by the way, there's letters, handwritten letters by him, how he took notes to prepare with his jokes. We got all that stuff in the back as well.
Wow.
Sam will give it to you
Jesus.
later on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Anytime, brother. So.
That's the most shit anybody's ever given me.
Really? There you go.
It's
yeah.
like Christmas.
I got that for you. By the way, my book is coming out in December. I mean, you can't buy the book right now. My book comes out December 5th. But they sent me the first copy of the book. It's titled Choose Your Enemies Wisely. And
Both of those guys are retarded. This episode aired on February 23rd, 2024. What? The clip is literally from before that. You're all triggering me. You're a 7-day ban. Get out of here.
it's not an easy thing to choose your enemies wisely. Most people choose the wrong enemies. Portfolio sent us the first copy of Choose Your Enemies Wisely. And my first copy they gave to me, I'm giving to you, brother.
Thank you.
Again, people can't buy it till December 5th, but these are gifts from us to you. You're a very important guy. You're a super likable guy. When I'm talking to your guys, and I said, so how's it feel working here, man? He says, man, Joe's the coolest guy to work for. We love Joe. Everybody loves you. You know, for what you've been able to do the last few years. I got a lot of respect for you. There's a level of admiration for you. There's true love for you. There's true protection for you. I have a natural tendency of protecting people that I think are needed to be protected. You don't need any protection when it comes into a street fight. I can't protect you in a street fight, bro. That's you. You know how to fight and take care of yourself. But I think there's got to be people that fight in different ways. Their weapon is a different weapon. My weapon is words, and my weapon is the way I process issues. You got a guy here that is going to be fighting for you for a long time, bro.
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about you. I have a lot of respect and love for you as well.
Yeah.
I think you're a very important voice out there, and I think what you do is very admirable. And you don't have to do it. This is not how you made your money. This is just something that you decided to pursue because you have interest in it and because you think it's important. And I admire that a lot.
Jesus.